Did you know that artificial neural networks have been studied since the 1950s? Did you also know that Facebook uses a 97% accuracy face recognition technology? We honestly thought it was 100% accurate. There is so much to learn about artificial neural networks, or ANNs, and their impact on society. We will present more on that alongside the information on how it works. Let us get started. Computers do some things that humans may struggle with. For instance, one might not remember the exact page, book, and line where particular information lies. Conversely, a computer can find a web page about what one seeks in a heartbeat. Still, the human brain has things that even the most powerful supercomputer, such as Fujitsu's Fugaku, which is roughly equivalent to 100 million modern PCs, might struggle to understand. To illustrate, the human brain develops inspiration, imagination, and common sense from its original structure, something computers can never do. Hence, the introduction of artificial neural network applications. They are built on the design of the brain structure to help computers develop the skills that they lack. Essentially, the computers become more human-like and assist machines to be able to reason more like humans. Today, the artificial neural network has expanded to cover many aspects of our day-to-day life. The exponential growth in spell check, machine translation, and facial recognition. The complexities of the human brain and its system of 80 billion neurons make for an inspirational discovery through artificial intelligence. We will spend more time speaking about the newer feats of the technology in this artificial neural network tutorial. In the 1950s, neural networks were developed to help computers understand real-life problems and address them better. Therefore, the artificial neural network is a simulation of the network of neurons in the human brain to help the computer learn and make decisions more like a human would. To emphasize, programming computers to behave as interconnected brain cells create artificial neural networks. When information is fed to a computer, it then uses different layers of mathematical processing to make sense of the information. There are millions of artificial neurons called units arranged in a series of layers. Here's how it works. The input layers receive information from the outside world. This data needs to be processed for the computer to act human-like. Then, the data travels through one or more hidden units. The hidden units then process the information into something that the output unit can make sense of. Thus, the human manner is recreated. The neural networks are fully connected from one layer to another. Each connection carries a numerical score weighted by the outcome of previous executions of the same process. Therefore, the higher the number, the greater the influence one unit would possess over the other. As the data passes through each unit, the more it learns so it can produce a better response next time. More on how this actually works later. Do you know how you can learn more and more about future tech? It is by subscribing to this channel. ANN can be deployed to classify information, cluster data, and predict outcomes. Nick Bostrom once said, "Machine intelligence is the last invention that humanity will ever need to make." If that is anything to go by, then humanity can rest and let machines do the rest, because they are already made and in full swing. For example, Google uses a 30-layered neural network for Google Photos. Additionally, YouTube recommendations and notifications are powered with the same neural network. Furthermore, Facebook has a deep face algorithm that applies ANN to recognize faces with a 97% accuracy mark. Moreover, Skype's real-time translations are built on ANNs, which makes it easy for people who speak different languages to communicate in real time with each other. And something you probably experience every day, whenever you are typing a text and there is a prediction showing possible words you might need next. Right there is an example of the power of ANN at play. Just as humans aren't always perfect, neural networks can never predict the perfect response 100% of the time. But the more data that is pushed through these networks, the more they are able to build common sense and inspiration from past interactions and current precedents. In fact, cognitive neuroscientists have discovered that the brain processes information in a hierarchy. As such, when this exact mechanism follows suit, the output could be immeasurable. We will tell you the outcome of this analysis shortly. How does the ANN learn? Let us give you a quick artificial neural network lecture. ANN learn by receiving a multitude of information called the training set. Suppose you want the computer to attach various emotions to a cat and dog. You first need to teach it what the difference is. The training set would include thousands of images of all kinds of cats and dogs tagged separately so that the network can learn the difference. Once you have trained the computer with this much information, It starts to classify other images depending on what it believes it is seeing. The classification then runs through the various units. If the machine's output is as competent as the humans, it has passed the test of being a valid ANN. Suppose the machine does not pass the test. Some propaganda learning techniques go into the layers to fix the mathematical equation at fault. That is called deep machine learning.
Human. So machine learning is when we teach machines to make guesses about what things are based on looking at a lot of different examples.
The overall effect is that a computer network becomes intelligent at this point. Cognitive neuroscientists have collaborated with computer scientists to develop the mechanism that best suits artificial neural networks. Since the 50s, many discoveries have been made to draw the brain closer to machines. One of the vital lessons from these research plots is that different parts of the brain process different aspects of information. The parts are arranged in a hierarchy of their significance in the information processing complex. Therefore, input comes into the brain, and it is passed down from one layer to the other for each level of a neuron to provide insights and then pass information down to the other senior level. Did you know this? Give us a thumbs up if you had no idea. That is the concept that ANN is following to provide these top-level technological mechanisms to replicate. Well, here is something else to keep you up on the tech trajectory. How humanoid robot was made. This will surprise you.